today's video is another makeup look, and seeing as last week's video went down really well, I thought I would do another autumn inspired makeup look. So this is for you guys who like to focus on the eyes and keep it nice and nude on the lip. So if you want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I've already done my foundation. Just do your usual foundation routine if you want, and my eyebrows as well. So if you want to see any of those routines in detail, then give this video a thumbs up. First, I'm going to go in with Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC. Just go in with any base or concealer just to prep the eyelids, stop any creasing, and just to create a blank canvas. I just blend this in with my finger, just all the way up to the brow as well. Next, you want to set that in place with any cream eyeshadow, or even your setting powder will do the trick. This just sets down that eye base that we just put on, just because it can be a little bit tacky, so it will help your eyeshadows blend later on. So the next eyeshadow that I'm using is MAC's Pro Longwear eyeshadow in Uninterrupted. If you do want to get your hands on this, make sure you go grab it now because it is being discontinued. I know, what the hell? But anyway, I am just putting this all the way through my crease, just going back and forth to really get that colour on there. I then go in with a smaller, dense, fluffy brush to focus it more in that crease. So you can see it sort of creates a nice gradient effect. You'll see in a minute. It creates a little bit more depth, so almost looks like I'm wearing two eyeshadows. So I do this just so I can focus that on the very crease. So I just go back and forth in that same motion. You can see I'm using sort of that motion that I just showed you there. Just go back and forth with your brush. I then go in with a warmer, deeper brown with the exact same brush, and I do the same motion as before. So again, you're just deepening up the crease, exactly the same, just go back and forth. Don't worry if you get it on the lid because we'll be putting another eyeshadow there later. You can see now I'm using a smaller fluffy brush and a darker brown and really focusing that right in the crease. So you can see I'm going back and forth right from the outer corner all the way into the inner corner, so really accentuating the eye shape. So just follow your natural eye shape, your natural crease, and you should be good to go. So just take your time blending, always go back and forth with a fluffy brush. This is the key to really smoke it out. Sometimes it does get, you know, a little bit like boring or difficult, but just take your time and go back and forth, and practice does make perfect. So you can see I'm going back in with that first shade and a bigger fluffy brush and going back and forth. Don't worry if you don't have all these brushes, just always wipe off the excess whenever you go back in with another shade. So I always go over the edges at the end. Next, using a flat shader brush and this gold shade from the Morphe palette, use whatever you have at home, you don't have to use the same as me. Just use any sort of gold or darker warm gold shade and pop that all over the eyelid. You can see I'm sort of pulling my eye slightly taut to really pack on the colour and make it super metallic, and I'm using the edge of the brush to really define and sort of cut the crease, if that makes sense, so making a really sharp edge almost, so there's a nice contrast between the darker matte shade and the shimmery gold. So you can see I just went in with a pencil brush and that same first eyeshadow and buffed that all the way underneath the lash line. Do whatever you feel comfortable with, take it as low as you want. I then go in with a flat definer brush to really focus that darker shade right into the lash line. So you can go as dark or as light as you want with this. So I'm going to smoke it out quite a bit, so I really buff it into the lash line. I then go back in with a pencil brush to sort of buff it out and make it nice and smoky. So just like the upper lid, just go back and forth with your brush to really buff it out. You can see I go in a few times to really make sure it's nice and blended, and just until you get sort of your desired effect. Now I am I'm just going in with that same pencil brush and a little bit of the darker brown and just going over the upper crease, just where the gold has slightly transferred, just to clean it up a little bit as well. Next, use whatever eyeliner or gel eyeliner or liquid eyeliner that you have at home and start creating a winged eyeliner. So follow from your bottom lash line and create a line upwards, as you can see now. So you can make this as big or as small as you want. I create mine quite small just because of my eye shape. Thumbs this video up if you want to see a how-to on liquid liner. I then just connect it to the top lid and I create quite a thin line all the way to the inner corner. So now I'm just coating my lashes for false lashes. You can see I've already done one here, so this is just to disguise my real lashes. I am using the EYELURE lashes in 134 Exaggerate. So this just makes a ton of difference. Obviously it is optional, you can just go ahead with the mascara if you want as well. So as I said before, I had already done my foundation and a little bit of concealer, but I'm just tidying up a little bit here and just brightening underneath the eye. As I always say, just do your usual foundation routine, but as well, if you do want to see a foundation routine or how I do my sort of foundation, please give this video a thumbs up and I'll definitely do that for you. So I'm just setting it now with some MERCIER powder, so you can see it really does make a difference when I add this. It just makes it look nice and flawless. This is just so it doesn't move throughout the day and just sets it in place, makes it look nice and matte as well. I then go in with a little bit of bronzer just to warm up my cheeks and to contour slightly. So I pop that through the cheekbones and the side of the nose just to define that. You'll find with a dark smoky eye you kind of need a little bit of colour through the cheeks just to add a little bit of life and balance back into the skin as well. So with that same powder, I'm actually going right underneath that contour and just sharpening this up slightly. So this is a great way to tidy it up if you feel like you've gone a little bit low, and just to make it look nice and chiseled as well. So I just sort of map out the shape and then I go back and buff the line out just so it looks a little bit more blended. So just add mascara on the bottom lashes just to tie everything together, and the eyes should be done. So for lips, I went with sort of a pale nude, but like I always say, you can go in with whatever lip colour suits you best and you should be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and you really liked the makeup as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!